Good morning and shalom. Today we're going to start off reading Deuteronomy chapter 11. And you shall love Yahu'ah your Elohah and guard his charge, even his laws and his right rulings and his commands, always. And you shall know today, for it is not your children who have not known, who have not seen the discipline of Yahu'ah your Elohah, his greatness, his strong hand and his outstretched arm, and his signs and his works, which he has done in the midst of Misraim, to Pharaoh, sovereign of Misraim, and to all his land. And that which he had done to the army of Misraim, to their horses and their chariots, which he had made the waters of the sea of reeds overflow them, as they pursued you, and how Yahu'ah has destroyed them to this day. And what he has done for you in the wilderness till you came to this place, and what he has done to Dathan and Abram, the sons of Eliab, son of Reuben, when the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up, and their households and their tents, and all the living creatures that were in their possession in the midst of Yashrael. For yours are the eyes that saw all the great work of Yahu'ah which he did. And you shall guard every command which I command you today, so that you are strong and shall go in and shall possess the land which you are passing over to possess, and to prolong your days in the land which Yahuwah swore to give your fathers to them and their descendants, a land flowing with milk and honey. And for the land which you are going in to possess is not like the land of Misraim, from which you have come from, where you have sowed your seed and watered it by foot, as a vegetable garden. But the land which you are passing over to possess is a land of hills and valleys, and drinks water from the rain of the Shemayim. And a land which Yahu'ah your Elohah looks after. The eyes of Yahu'ah your Elohah are always on it, from the beginning of the year to the latter end of the year. And it shall be that if you diligently obey my commands, which I command you today, to love Yahu'ah your Elohah, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your being, then I shall give you rain for your land in its season, and the early rain and the latter rain, which you shall gather in your grain, your new wine, and your oil. And I shall give you grass in your fields for your livestock, and you shall eat and be satisfied. Guard yourselves, lest your heart be deceived, and you turn aside and serve other mighty ones and bow down to them. Then the displeasure of Yahuwah shall burn against you, and he shall shut up the Shemayim, and there be no rain, and the land not give its increase, and you shall perish quickly from the good land which Yahuwah has given you. And you shall lay up these words of mine in your heart and in your being, and you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall teach them to your children, speaking of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, so that your days and the days of your children are increased on the soil which Yahuwah swore to your fathers to give them, as the days of the Shemayim on earth. For if you diligently guard all these commands which I command you to do it, to love Yahu'ah your Elohah, to walk in all his ways, and to cling to him, then Yahuwah shall drive out all these nations before you, and shall dispossess greater and stronger nations than you. Every place on which the sole of your foot treads is yours, from the wilderness in Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, even to the western sea is your border. No man shall stand against you. Yahuwah your Elohah shall put the dread of you and the fear of you upon the land where you tread, as he has spoken to you. See, I am setting before you today a Baruch and a curse. A Baruch when you obey the commands of Yahu'ah your Elohah, which I command you today. And the curse if you do not obey the commands of Yahu'ah your Elohah, but turn aside from the way which I command you today to go after other mighty ones, which you have not known. And it shall be when Yahu'ah your Elohah has brought you into the land which you go to possess, that you shall put the Baruch on Mount Gezerim, and the curse on Mount Ebal. Are they not beyond the Yarden toward the setting sun, in the land of the Canaanites who dwell in the desert plain, opposite Gilgal, beside the terebinth trees of Moreh? For you are passing over the Yarden to go into possess the land which Yahuwah your Elohah is given you, and you shall possess it and dwell in it. And you shall guard to do all the laws and right rulings which I am setting before you today. Deuteronomy chapter 12. These are the laws and right rulings which you guard to do in the land of which Yahuwah your Elohah of your fathers is given you to possess all the days that you live on the soil. Completely they destroy all the places where the nations which you are dispossessing served their mighty ones, on the high mountains and on the hills and under every green tree. And you shall break down their slaughter places and smash their pillars and burn their Asherim with fire. And you shall cut down the carved images of their mighty ones and shall destroy their name out of that place. Do not do so to Yahuwah your Elohah, but seek the place which Yahuwah your Elohah chooses out of all your tribes to put his name there, for his dwelling place, and there you shall enter. And there you shall take your ascending offerings and your slaughterers, and your tithes and contributions of your hand, and your vowed offerings, and your voluntary offerings, and the firstlings of your herd out of your stock. And there you shall eat before Yahuwah your Elohah, and shall rejoice in all that you put your hand to, and your households in which Yahuwah your Elohah has baruched you. And you do as we are doing here today, each one doing whatever is right in his own eyes. Because you have not yet entered the rest of the inheritance which Yahuwah your Elohah is giving you. But you shall pass over the Yarden, and shall dwell in the land which Yahuwah your Elohah is giving you to inherit. And he shall give you the rest from all your enemies round about, and you shall dwell in safety. And it shall be that unto the place which Yahuwah your Elohah chooses to make his name dwell there, there you are to bring all that I command you, your ascending offerings, your slaughters, and your tithes, your contributions of your hand. Excuse me. In all your choice offerings which you vowed to Yahuwah. And you shall rejoice before Yahuwah your Elohah, and you and your sons, and your daughters, and your male servants, and your female servants, and the Levites, who is within your gates, since he has no portion nor inheritance with you. Guard yourself that you do not offer your ascending offerings in every place that you see, except in the place which Yahuwah chooses. In one of your tribes, there you are to offer your ascending offerings. There you are to do all that I command you. Only whatever your being desires you shall slaughter and eat according to the Baruch of Yahu'ah your Eluah, which he has given you, within all your gates. The unclean and the clean do eat of it, of the gazelle and the deer alike. Only the blood you do not eat, pour it on the earth like water. You are not allowed to eat within your gates the tithe of your grain, or your new wine, or your oil, or the firstlings of your herd or your flock, or any of the offerings which you vow, or of your voluntary offerings, or of the contribution of your hand. But eat them before Yahu'ah your Eluah, in the place which Yahu'ah your Eluah chooses. You and your sons, your daughter, your male servant, your female servant, and the Levite who is within your gates. And you shall rejoice before Yahu'ah your Eluah in all that you put your hands to. Guard yourself that you do not forsake the Levite as long as you live in your land. When Yahu'ah your Eluah enlarges your border as he has promised you, and you say, "Let me eat meat," because you long to eat meat, you eat as much meat as your being desires. When the place where Yahu'ah your Eluah chooses to put his name is too far from you, then you shall slaughter from your herd and from your flock, which Yahu'ah has given you, as I commanded you, and you shall eat within your gates as much as your being desires. Only as the gazelle and the deer are eaten, so you are to eat of it. The unclean and the clean alike eat of it. Only be strong not to eat the blood, for the blood is the life, and do not eat the life with the meat. Do not eat it, you pour it on the earth like water. Do not eat it, that it might be well with you and your children after you, when you do what is right in the eyes of Yahuwah. Only the set-apart gifts which you have in your vowed offerings, you are to take up and go to the place which Yahuwah chooses. And you shall make your ascending offerings, the meat and the blood, on the slaughter place of Yahuwah your Eluah. And the blood of your slaughterings is poured out on the slaughter place of Yahuwah your Eluah, and you eat the meat. Guard and obey all these words which I command you, that it might be well with you and your children after you forever, when you do what is good in the right in the eyes of Yahuwah your Eluah. When Yahuwah your Eluah does cut off from before you the nations which you go to dispossess, and you dispossess them and dwell in their land, guard yourself that you are not ensnared to follow them after they are destroyed from before you, and that you do not inquire about their mighty ones, saying, "How did these nations serve their mighty ones? And let me do so too." Do not do so to Yahuwah your Eluah, for every abomination which Yahuwah hates have done to their mighty ones, for they even burn their sons and daughters in the fire to their mighty ones. All the words which I am commanding you, guard to do it. Do not add to it or take away from it. Deuteronomy chapter 13. When there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and he shall give you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or wonder shall come true, of which he has spoken to you, saying, "Let us go after other mighty ones, which you have not known, and serve them." Do not listen to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for Yahuwah your Eluah is trying to know whether you love Yahuwah your Eluah with all your heart and with all your being. Walk after Yahuwah your Eluah, and fear him, and guard his commands, and obey his voice, and serve him, and cling to him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams is put to death, because he has spoken apostasy against Yahuwah your Eluah. who brought you out of the land of Mishraim, and ransomed you from the house of bondage, to make you stay from the way in which Yahu'ah your Elohim commanded you to walk. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst. When your brother, the son of your mother, or the son of your daughter, or wife of your bosom, your friend who is your own being, entices you secretly, saying, "Let us go serve other mighty ones, which you have not known," neither you nor your fathers, of the mighty ones of the people which are all around you, near to you or far off from you, from the end of the earth to the other end of the earth. Do not agree with him or listen to him, nor shall your eye pardon him, nor spare him or conceal him. You shall certainly kill him. Your hand is first against him to put him to death, afterward the hand of all the people, and you shall stone him with stones until he dies, because he sought to entice you away from Yahu'ah your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mishraim, from the house of bondage. And let all Yisrael hear and fear, and not again do any such evil matter as this is in your midst. When you hear someone in one of your cities, which Yahu'ah your Elohim gives you to dwell in, saying, "Some men, sons of Baal, have gone out of your midst and led the inhabitants of your city astray, saying, 'Let us go and serve other mighty ones whom you have not known,' then you shall inquire, search out, and ask diligently, and see if the matter is true, and establish that this abomination was done in your midst. You shall certainly strike the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, putting it under the ban, and all that is in it, and its livestock, with the edge of the sword. And gather all its plunder into the middle of the street, and completely burn with fire the city and all its plunder before Yahu'ah your Elohim. And it shall be a heap forever, never to be built again. And none of that which is put under the bond is to cling to your hand, so that Yahuwah turns from the fierceness of his displeasure, and shall show you compassion, love you, and increase you, as he swore to your fathers. When you obey the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim, to guard all his commands, which I command you today, to do what is right in the eyes of Yahuwah your Elohim."